Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. My name is Lynn. I'm an avid plant lover and a gardening nerd of sorts. I've been gardening for over 20 years and I've gardened in different parts of the country, especially areas where the summers can be warm, hot, and definitely on the drier side. And in that time, I have discovered that there are some plants that do well in various parts of the country that have those same conditions. So today, 10 of those plants are going to be showcased just to make sure that these plants are on your radar, because you may find that they are definitely worthy of growing. Many of these plants are drought tolerant, they're low maintenance, most of them are deer resistant, many of them are problem solvers, and some of them are downright gorgeous. Let's get into this. First up is the pineapple guava. Now this is an evergreen shrub and many grow it for its tropical looking flowers and edible fruit. It has this beautiful silvery evergreen foliage, exotic red and white edible flowers. The standard variety will become about 8 to 15 feet in height and width. And then of course there's a smaller pineapple guava called the bambina, and this one only becomes about 3 to 5 feet in height and width. Once established, it becomes very drought tolerant and even can handle temperatures into the teens. Next is the Vitex tree, also known as the chase tree or the Texas lilac. Now this large shrub, small tree, can come in different sizes. So there are smaller varieties that only become somewhere around 6 to 8 feet in height and width. The bloom colors can range from a deep blue or purple, lavender, and even pink. And I think one of the reasons why this particular shrub, which is heat tolerant all the way up to zones 9 or 10, I think one of the reasons why it's not grown in some areas is due to the invasiveness. However, one of my favorite varieties of Vitex tree is the Summertime Blues Vitex, which is a sterile variety. Now the Summertime Blues Vitex, it has these rich violet blue flower spikes that emerge from about late April and continue throughout your summer, often repeating into early fall. This low maintenance small tree, large shrub will attract butterflies, bees, and other pollinators to your garden almost constantly. It is more compact and controlled than traditional Vitex varieties, still having that aromatic gray-green foliage. And true to being a Vitex, it can handle brutal heat and reflected sun extremely well, while it tolerates the rocky, often alkaline, poor soils that are common in central Texas. So I want to put this one on your radar. You see how beautiful it is. The only downside to this plant, don't believe the tag regarding the size. I think they report that it becomes 8 to 10 feet in height and about 4 to 6 feet in width. My plant in the front yard is 22 to 24 feet in width, and the plant right here that I'm showing you is about 16 feet in width. I think if you decide that you want to grow this beauty on drip, this plant just becomes enormous. It has so many leaves and flowers on it that it can't support. But in the backyard, the one that you see, I have a targeted emitter on it, and I only water it during the hottest part of the summer. It is absolutely gorgeous. About the only downside that I can think of is if you want to raise the canopy like I have, which I really love to do, because if you look down here, the branching on this plant and all the curves and twists, I think that creates visual interest, and it also allows to underplant different things. Right now I'm imagining a Rebecca underneath there just filling out the area. Oh my, that would just be so gorgeous. But I like to see that architecture. But once you do, you're going to get a lot of shoots at the bottom trying to come back because this plant just wants to grow. And you'll probably find if you decide to plant a summertime blues Vitex that you're going to have to trim the shoots at least once a month during the growing season. Next is autumn sage, also known as Salvia Greggii. Now this one's actually a Texas native, and if you live in Texas, you probably see this plant all over the place. It's usually a red variety that's very common because, it gives the landscape this big, bold pop of color. And it's so classic for this plant. And also, hummingbirds target into colors like reds a lot as well. However, it does come in coral, pink, white, purple, and even bicolor combinations. So you can find an autumn sage or Salvia Greggii that will complement practically any garden color aesthetic. This is one of the best perennial salvias for Texas. And those of you who also have gardens in hot, dry summer climates in zones 7 through 10. One will thrive in the heat, drought, rocky soil, and alkaline conditions. And it does so well once it's established. It's going to bloom heavily from spring to fall. And the bonus about autumn sage or Salvia Greggii, this one often looks better in August than it does during the spring. The next plant performs well in so many parts of the country, not just hot summer climates, but much of North America. And that plant is Echinacea. Now, there are Echinacea that's native to Texas. You probably guessed that it can handle summer heat. And so these gorgeous, often elegant flowers will come in a myriad of colors. There's so many forms and differing heights. They're going to bloom for you throughout the summer, attracting so many pollinators to your garden. But this one is definitely a must-have if you garden where the summers get toasty. Next is the kindly privet, and this one's for zone 6 through 9. So those of you who garden in a little colder zone here in Texas and areas outside of Texas, this may be one that you can grow. This is a sterile Ligustrum, also known as Japanese privet. So this is a sterile Japanese privet, but it will not take over your garden. It only becomes about 6 to 8 feet in height and about 4 feet in width. All year, this evergreen plant's going to have these dark green leaves that can be trimmed to do a lot of what one sees with privets, but it does not have that invasiveness. It is deer resistant, low maintenance. So if you like the look of privet, but you don't like the invasiveness and having a plant that will not become, 15 feet in height, you may want to consider the kindly privet. Next is Skullcap, and this one's very popular in some hot climates, but not all. I certainly think it's another one that I'm surprised I don't see more of it because it blooms for an incredibly long time, often from spring into fall, even during periods of heat that stop other perennials from flowering. So just like your Salvia Greggii, your Skullcap is one that in August, it's going to look really good too. It can also handle drought fairly well once established, and it works beautifully in cottage gardens or naturalized landscapes where a softer look is desired. Next is Yarrow, and Yarrow is grown in warm climates because it thrives in harsh conditions that many plants struggle with. The Yarrow you see right here, or just planted 2 weeks ago, and the reason why it's here, it's in a western exposure and it's getting reflected heat off of the house, and I know it can take it. It has these flat top blooms that add lasting color throughout the summer. It's going to attract many of the butterflies and beneficial insects to your garden. And many of the gardeners use Yarrow because if you notice, it has this pretty fern-like foliage that tends to stay attractive with very little maintenance. And it is hardy in USDA zones 3 through 9. And for all of these plants, of course, except for the ones that are sterile varieties, you probably want to check your local cooperative extension just to make sure they're not on some, forbidden list because they're invasive, etc. Next is junipers. Now, junipers are widely planted in hot climates, but I should see more. I see evergreen choices being put in areas, and I see people struggle and suffer and spray and all kinds of things because they're just, tough climates like most of Texas, the desert Southwest, the Midwest. Okay, there's just some tough climates. These tolerate those climates very well, providing evergreen structure year-round. They can handle the heat, drought, wind, and difficult soil conditions. My junipers are out there in full sun all day, and caliche, clay soil. They're either in clay soil or caliche, but these junipers, they are especially valuable in low maintenance landscapes because once they get established, they require very little supplemental water. Depending upon the variety, they can be used as ground cover, foundation shrubs, privacy screens, accent plants. There are wide ones, tall ones, skinny ones. There's all kinds of junipers, different color foliage. They are so versatile for warmer regions, and they're very low maintenance. That's another one that if they are not on your radar, you may want to consider. And I was speaking to my arborist even here in Central Texas, Arizona cypress, and maybe it's because we do have humidity here. They're starting to have issues. Junipers, they always give me thumbs up on those. Next is the butterfly bush. And this is another one that I really don't see a lot here in Central Texas. And maybe it's because they've got a bad rap because they're supposed to be so invasive. Well, y'all, there are sterile butterfly bush, the mist line, the lo and behold line of proven winners, found also at Home Depot. And these plants, you don't have to worry about that. And so they are great for warm and hot climates. They're going to have these massive flower spikes that bloom continuously through the hottest parts of summer. Again, here's another one like the skullcap, like the Salvia Greggii. When everything else is not looking good, these shrubs, they're still looking great. Gardeners also tend to appreciate the fast growth that it has and its ability to handle full sun and heat without significant stress. These butterfly bush are dotted throughout my long bed, which is the Texas Proving Grounds, and they have proven themselves to be worthy and tough enough to handle hot summers here in Central Texas. These plants are for USDA zones 5 all the way up to zone 10. And last but not least is sedum. Sedum is prized in hot climates because its succulent leaves store water, allowing it to thrive in conditions with minimal irrigation. However, these plants look gorgeous right out in the landscape, providing shape and flowers, and they're also useful in rock gardens, borders, containers, or any area with reflected heat where more delicate plants will struggle. That's it. That's 10 plants that I wanted to make sure was on your radar. If you grow any of these plants, please share your experiences in the comments. We'd appreciate hearing from you in this plant lovers community. And that's going to be it for now, y'all. So I hope you have a great day in your garden. Bye.